Okay, so this review that we're doing, we already reviewed it. We
It
did it,
was a review for the mind.
or from memory, yes. I went to visit you for your birthday, and would you ask you, what do you want to review for your birthday? You said The Last Starfighter. But
Yes.
again, like you mentioned, we were doing it from what we remembered.
Hmm.
We were right and not so right. We missed some things, of course, as well as we got some good things. But during Labor Day weekend, you came up to visit me,
Hmm.
and we took the opportunity to actually see it since I do own it.
Yes, and yeah,
And I
technically
have to
this is
say,
what, the 40th anniversary coming up next year.
no, this year, yeah,
Yeah.
it came out in 1984, the same year you were born.
Hmm.
I watched it again after you left.
Seriously,
Well, because I was a little distracted, I'll be honest, and I really enjoyed it.
both times.
I
I know,
forgot
I
how
know, I know.
we
The first time when you
right
enjoyed it watching it together.
when we did our review on memory, we liked it then.
Hmm.
But after seeing it again for so long, because it's been a while since I saw it, I was like, wow, this is a really good movie. Now, granted, there is a lot of faux pas,
Yes,
and the CGI is horrid, or the computer
extremely
graphics.
dated. I mean, for its
Right.
time, it was well above the grade. But
Not really. Not really.
1984
Not really.
CGI.
Star Wars came out in 1977,
Yes, but Star Wars also used models. They didn't use CGI. That was all CGI.
but they could have done models and they had the flying stuff. Anyway,
I mean, that was a choice.
on Rotten Tomatoes, it is scored at 76% by the critics and 70% by the audience. This is our second review of The Last Starfighter. Welcome back to A Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm a Don.
where we give a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. So real quick on the CGI.
Let's get that out of that way. Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way. Even though we've called CGI in the sense of this film that's come out in 1984, that CGI didn't exist until something like this. But in some research, CGI did come out.
Oh, I thought it was like 1960 something.
I think it's before 1960 something. I think 1930 something. I want to say it. I could be wrong, or 1940 something. But go ahead.
1950s. It was in the 1950s. Simple graphics were first created on computers and simply like Vertigo in 1958.
Yes.
And for comparison, like we talked about Twisters, and some of the CGI that was in Twisters, not Twisters, Twister was pretty much on par with this. The satellite.
Well, the cow.
When they show the satellite and the cow.
Yeah, but like here on the computer stuff, like it looked like it looked very similar to the computer game that he was playing.
Yeah, I would say it's not that far different from what CGI looked like on Tron.
I haven't seen Tron in a long time, so you may be right on that. The story itself was great. It follows that Star Wars trope or Star Wars trope and troll hunters, where a person sees himself doing better than what he's doing, trying to leave the trailer house to have a better life.
Yeah, he wants to go to college.
That's where it takes place. Right, he wants to go to college. He wants to see the world and stuff like that. He feels that he's meant for bigger things.
Yeah,
Luke felt the same way. The character from Troll Hunters, we have that here, and he's a good kid. He's not like a troublesome kid. He helps the community, the trailer park community that he's at.
Yeah, much to his chagrin, like he wants to do other things, but he chooses responsibilities. Oh, the trailer's dish is out of whack. You know, I was supposed to go to the beach. Well, we need you here. Okay, I'll stay here.
Not just him, but also his girlfriend. She don't want to leave the mother. Maggie, her grandmother. Excuse me. She don't want to leave. She felt responsible to her. They were her and him. True. She was using her grandmother as a crutch.
Yes.
But again, he was always looking towards the stars.
Mm-hmm. And
like Luke was looking at the two moons.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he used the video game as his escape.
Yes.
Is there any other one like that where you play a video game and then you get called in, or no? I feel there's another one, or they're similar.
There's definitely similar.
There's one
to that. It's not really get called into the game, but there's like you want to play a game.
War games. But you also have. There's another one. God, there's one with Fred Savage where his brother is kind of like Rain Man and it's Nintendo, and they go to this thing where
the wizard.
Yes, that's also kind of something like that. Yeah, but this is where you play a game and you do so well that a species from another planet picks you. But I can't remember on top of it. There's other games like that. I don't know.
So
what it is.
I'm gonna say this, and I know it's not related to Last Starfighter, but you're gonna get a laugh out of this. So my mind trying to think of these past movies, and the one movie that came to mind was Star Kid that came out in '97. Nothing to do with Last Starfighter. It's like a kid version of Guyver. or Blue Beetle. Kid finds armor suit and it fuses with him, and he can talk to it like an AI system, and now aliens are after him, and he's trying to fight it off. This came out in 97.
All right, it's very Guyver. That's very Guyver.
Extremely Guyver. If you ever saw the trailer to it, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is Guyver. I just had to get that off my mind as it was happening.
Right. Off your mind or off your chest?
It was in my mind.
Well, so for those who are listening, watching, if you can let us know in the comments below, what other movie was very similar to this in the sense, the main character, yes, that plays a video game. And then with that video game, the one with Harrison Ford. Oh, shoot. What's that movie with Harrison Ford that he tricks the kid?
Oh,
he thinks he's playing a game. Yes. That's more recent, though. But he thinks he's playing a game, but he was tricked.
Yeah.
He was duped. That's a little different, but it's similar where he thinks he's playing a game, but he's actually controlling a spaceship.
Yeah.
Like the military does now with drone strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to this. I like this originally because the main actor who played Alex, he was Clark Kent in the original Superman with Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, he was young Clark.
He plays Smallville Clark Kent.
Yeah.
When we're growing up, especially back then, where we're not that well knowledge of who's who, that when we see that person on TV, we see that person as that character. Mm-hmm. Like Sylvester Stallone for the longest time was Rocky before he became Rambo. Mm-hmm. Christopher Reeves,
Superman.
Stayed Superman, even though he did other films that broke away from that. But when I saw him, oh, that's Superman.
Michael Keaton.
When I saw him as
I was going to call him Black Man, but it's Batman.
Racist. But here, yes, I saw him. I was like, oh, that's Clark Kent, even though he's not playing Clark Kent. He did a great job. I love when we watched not the flashbacks, but behind the scenes, it made sense of why he and his beta unit look different hair-wise.
Yes.
It looks like he's wearing a wig. It's because he's wearing a wig.
Yes. Also, he was sick too. And like that, like his skin complexion and everything. It was like,
and so it fit. It made that more believable that he is not the actual same. Because sometimes we see now where you see a body double and it's like there's no distinction.
Correct.
But we see it. We can see it with him. He's a little thinner. His hair is a little way off. Mm-hmm. But it works. It worked for me. But it was like, okay. Now, also like Star Wars, you have here, to make the movie more legit, you have standout actors.
Absolutely.
Star Wars had Alec Guinness. Here they had Robert Preston.
Stole the show.
He was awesome. Oh, yes.
As Centauri?
Centauri, excuse me. Yeah, Centauri. He was awesome. He's very charismatic, very
borderline shyster.
Oh, yeah. He's a con man, of course.
Absolutely.
But a con man for good reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's a gambler.
And to get money in his pocket.
He was great. That's what lifted this film, in my opinion, where you had some legitimacy to this project. And you have also Don O'Hurley. I can't say his name.
Or Hurley.
Dan. Yeah, Don O'Hurley. Anyway, he played Krieg, the co-pilot of the Starfighter.
Yes.
We know him from RoboCop.
Correct.
I think he was the OC peer director or owner.
He was like, they called him the old man. He was like the
he's
president.
In that. So
yeah.
Right. Even though he has a small part in RoboCop, he has a great line at the end of the film. Mm-hmm. You're fired. And then we like it because he is very similar to another favorite film of ours, Enemy Mine.
Yes, which came out a year later.
Very similar. Right. And they're the aliens, very similar. There are some differences, but very similar. And the character played by Lou Gossett Jr. And he was great here. His laugh, his salute. I do have a faux pas with him, though, but I loved his performance in here. And he stood out. Like Centauri and Krieg, they stole the show or they stole the scene every time they were in it.
True. Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have a favorite moment?
There was a couple of favorite moments, but I like the moment where at the end of the film, the mothership, as it were, gets shot, is going to crash. And they're like, we're caught up.
Moon or planet?
And they're like, we're caught up in the gravity of the moon. I was like, what do we do? And the one general who just took over looks up and the little eye thing just flips over for no reason. And he goes, we die. Like with a straight face. And it cracks me up every time because it's pointless.
What cracks me up on that, the ship almost as big or bigger than the planet it crashed into or the moon.
Yeah, it's huge.
As soon as it entered the atmosphere, it disintegrated, which makes no sense. You would think it'll be a little bit smaller, but it didn't get down in size as the closer it got to that moon or planet. So I was like, Okay, see that's bad CGI there. They didn't really plan that out. That tool reminds me of a Nintendo gadget.
Yeah, I used to have that. I used to have the Nintendo helmet thing that it would have the thing that would be out here. You would talk into the
Uh-huh.
microphone and it would shoot. The idea was like as you talk, it would shoot, and you're supposed to be shoot, fire, fire, fire. Really, just take
Did it
any
work?
audio. It did work, but you're basically yelling at the screen any word to trigger. And if you're trying to like do
Right,
rapid
but did
fire,
it?
no, the thing was permanent. It was like
Oh
it
yeah,
would
it
just be like,
was permanent, so you couldn't really. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
but that was a cool gadget. It was a cool gadget, but it was just like that flip to the eye. It was
I mean, you'll see it in cartoons like
like
in
a dramatic pause.
Dragon Ball Z, they use that in cartoons. I know you don't watch the show, but I'm just saying, like, they literally have it as their
Yeah.
meter counter for it's like his power's over 9,000.
The prince with his staff or whatever that thing was, and to accentuate something, to put it to the camera and put out the dagger.
Yes, and
He never used it. He
no,
never used it. He should have.
what was that prince's
He
name?
never used it as a weapon. Jor,
It might have been Jor.
Norman Snow, Jor,
It might
but
have
he
been
never
Jor.
used it.
No, in matter of
He
fact,
was
on
like
his escape, he just kicked somebody.
he used it as a bat. I
Mhm.
believe he hit someone with it too, without using it as a weapon. And it says of like to stab someone. Oh, what a wasted moment. Okay, did we mention a favorite moment?
I was saying that like we die. It's actually
Oh, that yes, that was your favorite. Yes, for me was when they went to I guess the extreme level to fight
oh
when
with
the Starfighter when the
yeah, they're
Starfighter
it was like the
is
space
flipping and
blossom or
spinning.
something like that. What they call it.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah,
Even though it really doesn't make any sense why he's spinning and the ship is spinning the other way, but it's
I can
still cool
rationalize it.
regardless.
In essence, they don't really say this in the movie, but the logic to me is in space you can turn 360 whatever direction you want. So it's better as a pilot. Well, if the ship's going to spin rapidly, rather than shaking the pilot around, you keep the pilot still and the ship spins around. But in the perception of the co-pilot, it looks like he's spinning around.
He should be sick.
Both of them should be sick.
You saw Alex; he shake his head like to get his wits.
I know.
But you know what? He should not be spinning. Alex should not be spinning. It should be Krieg that should be spinning around.
True, but if you're
Wow.
like from the perspective of Krieg, it'll look like Alex is spinning.
But Alex was spinning.
No, I'm saying from Krieg's perspective, Alex would be spinning.
I understand. Right, but Alex was spinning. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We see him start. We see him start, and we see him slow down. But on the outside, we see the ship going all over. It's like there's two access points.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was still cool. Regardless, it was still cool. It was something like you would see or
Like,
you'll hope to do in the game of Asteroids.
Yeah, it's like when they put people in those like
asteroids are trying to hit you.
The gyro chairs that have like 4 axes,
right?
And they spin them around.
Yeah, no, it was still a cool scene, and I really like it. That's what I like about it. It was really done really well, and it's really cool. But then you look at it again, and another perspective is like they should both be like throwing up, especially since Alex has never done that before. He never had that training.
True. Speaking of which, that moment where Alex finally suits up and he's like asking him like, so there was attack? He's like, yeah. It's like they slaughtered a lot of people. Like, how many are left, including you? Yeah. And then as he hits launch, one. One. It has a good comedic moment. I mean, it is a good movie. Just the CGI can take you out. I was going to say, funny enough, the part that took me out cinematically, CGI was when the head showed up, the holographic head. That took me out worse than the spaceships.
Because the way so? It made sense to me.
No, it makes sense. It's just the way that the head came in and it was like blending in with the background. It just didn't work for me. I was like, I feel weird watching this head.
Let's go into some food pause.
We talked about the CGI,
right?
We can understand that,
right? Well, yeah, but then there's a lot of food pause here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that chip that Alex got on the planet is for him can hear, right, and hear translations.
Yeah, we talked about this. I remember, yeah, because like he got that when he went to the first got picked up by Centauri. Because he couldn't understand anybody,
right?
And because they're all speaking their native languages, and they told him the chip is so you can understand us. It was never explained that the chip is just gonna be so everybody around you can understand. It was just it sounded like it was just like for him. But at the end of the movie,
right? Exactly.
When they show up,
when Craig is talking and he's like, "Wait a minute, how is the chip is bilingual in the sense like everybody they can hear you?" If that was the case, everyone talking to Alex before he got the chip, he should have understood them,
or at least to Centauri. And then you understand through Centauri.
Centauri, he understood. And Centauri was translating for him before he got the chip.
Yeah. Either that or Greg learned the language.
See, that makes no sense. I shouldn't.
I mean, we don't know how much time
like
has
Star Wars,
passed.
not much, buddy, not much. But like Star Wars, all species can breathe the same air.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. If you're another planet, you should not be able to breathe the same air. Like Craig should have had that helmet on with giving him oxygen to breathe when he's on Earth. Alex should have had some kind of breathing apparatus when he was on the other planet. It was just granted, it could be a little bit more costly to have that detail where they're having a whole thing for them to breathe. Because come on, you can't drink the water in India. If you go from America, you can't drink the water in Mexico. You can't drink the water in India. You're gonna get sick. So you go to another planet, there should be some kind of care in a sense of how to survive. You can't eat the same food.
Did we even watch Alex eat food?
Breathe. No, but I'm just saying.
Well, no,
in a sense, like you should not be able to breathe. Right, you should not be able to breathe the same air because we're made up differently. Our DNA, our chemical makeup is differently than they were there.
I mean, the air thing.
It's just
that's like arguing the same argument with Star Trek. I mean, they're all carbon-based creatures.
Right, but the thing of World of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise movie, right? And then the original.
It wasn't the air that was the problem. It was the bacteria in the air.
Well, hello, you don't wear a mask, you're gonna get sick.
Yeah.
So the bacteria in the air. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, no, in that sense, that's true. Like Alex should have probably it could have been very dangerous for Alex, and it would have been very dangerous for Greg.
No precaution. So all they did was give him a chip so he can translate, but nothing else.
For Centauri, it kind of makes sense because he has that face mask. That could be a filter for all we know.
Right.
Because you always see him covering his face with his handkerchief.
See, that gives that answer for him, but not for everyone else. You know? And then when Craig is at Earth talking to the people, I was like, that makes no sense why they understand him. That makes no sense. Everyone else, like I can understand Craig understanding them because he has that translation chip, but they don't have it. Also, how does that black man from the trailer park, how does he know everything? Like he says, watch out, this thing really throws a wallop. How do you know? You just saw it land. You don't know what's going to take off and what's going to do. He's like, all this knowledge. So that kind of tells me that he could be an alien.
I mean, theoretically, they've already had like 3 aliens on Earth, if not 4. They just live among us, and no one knows it.
That's what I'm thinking about. That black guy, he could be. I don't remember his name. He was like the handyman, also of the community. That arcade game was supposed to be somewhere else, but it happened to be right there. He was so excited that Alex was going to get the high score. Everyone was excited.
Yeah.
That Alex was going to get the high score.
Nothing was happening in that trailer park.
But he was really excited.
True.
Now I'm thinking about it. It's like maybe he was like a sleeper cell in a way that he was sent down and he moved this to that trailer park for a reason. And that was the reason. I don't know. Other faux pas. Oh, I like the
faux pas.
It's a minor faux pas.
I love you, Alex.
Oh, that's not really a faux pas. That's just corny. She's told that the Alex that she thinks it is a beta unit. He crashes into the ship, and then she turns.
Wind blowing in her face. Like,
wind blowing in her face.
Gets the explosion.
I love you, Alex. But the thing is, like, I understand she knows that that's not Alex because she saw the body being shot and all that stuff. But you would think that she would be more like, oh no.
She just witnessed like 2 things die. Like literally, it's a lot to process in 5 minutes.
More like 5 seconds. But and she even admits it. The actress, she even admits it. That was a corny line, but she loves it nonetheless.
Of course, we did too.
Yeah, but we laughed at it as well. We thought it was like, oh my God. But the brother,
Lewis,
he was funny.
Go to sleep,
corny
Lewis.
as shit. I told Mom about the Playboy mags.
You're dreaming, Lewis.
What the shit? When Beta hears something weird and it's the moth, and he has to adjust himself to hear it. Right? He's trying to, right? And Lewis sees it. But what I like though is cute, and it could be stupid, but I find it cute. He sees a ship coming down. He knows they found out that the beta unit is there. The android body has a hand on the head. He puts the fingers on his nose, and he just moves the head. I don't know. I got a kick out of that. I just think it's like, like when a person is like, oh God, and they have like almost like a slight migraine or headache. Yeah. They put that to help relieve the stress. Oh, the what I was going to talk about is when Centauri was fixing the ship or the escape, whatever the car.
Yeah. The Prius. It looks like a Prius and a DeLorean had a love child.
Correct. Oh, before that, I did like how the beta unit became the beta unit.
Oh yeah,
I
like
like
it
that
sparked
idea.
when he handshaked.
Right.
Very
And
much
he gets like
Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of feel.
right, but it's just like you need the body's already there.
Yeah.
But you need that spark, the electricity, like to get the DNA, the likeness, all that stuff. Like he collected that information. And so when sleeping, when it's pretending to sleep and moaning all that stuff, all it is transforming, getting it right.
Mm-hmm.
It was gross when you saw the covers and like there's no eyelids.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I was like, oh God.
And like
But it was
literally
still
breathing
cool.
with the face.
Right. It was just going through that metamorphosis. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is a cool
but when Centauri is fixing the Prius / DeLorean, the wrench that he has is just a gun silhouette.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but I guess for that, it's a multi-tool, apparently. You can fix anything in that car with that little 90-degree angle with a little hole in it where you put the finger in to hold the gun. Anyway.
Ooh, I do have a football. So I never understood why when the alien stood in front of the arcade machine, did the machine all of a sudden make it reveal its identity?
I think it was a safety protocol. I mean, I'm okay with that. It makes sense.
But I mean, it detects like that. But like, if you're trying to recruit, that doesn't necessarily mean like it didn't really care like what species you were. I'm assuming.
No, I'm thinking that once the Starfighter is acknowledged
or recruited,
yes, any creature that also finds out, say like it's a safety protocol, and it says like, say there's a mole within their fleet, and
which there was,
right? They come down to find out who it was. They know who that ship that video game is, so they come by it, and then because it triggered off on multiple things on multiple times for different reasons. So it makes sense that it recognized that this species coming around is not actually
human.
Earthling. Well, no, Earthling from Earth.
Okay,
it's a humanoid. It's a humanoid, So and then just if they figure that out, so I don't mind that. I just find it weird that it was just out of the reach or different type of species whatsoever, having the freaking hammerhead.
It did look like a hammerhead,
eyes, whatever, or like a weird off calamarian. It's a trap.
No, that was one of the pilots.
That's true too. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, so yeah, I really don't mind that. But it kind of makes sense. I mean, granted, it's weird that it happens to walk directly across it. Okay, but it probably doesn't know that there's an arcade disguised as a recruiting center.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. This deserves a sequel.
There's been talks that they're going to do a sequel after 40 years.
Yeah, but it deserves a sequel. Why? Because the prince escaped. The prince lived.
Yeah, they definitely left it open enough that they couldn't span from that.
And his father didn't die. So but he could have kind of like Emperor Palpatine never died, just cloned himself and waited.
Yeah, but
30, 40 years later.
It makes more sense for this than it did with that one.
No, of course, you're right. But I will welcome it. We see Alex now. He's past it. Of course, he's past his prime. He's still training. He's there with Maggie. They have kids. Maybe his kid, the next Starfighter, or someone else is a Starfighter. Now, it should not be redundant of the last Starfighter, but it could be a last Starfighter in a different way, where maybe that recruit, they go out on a mission and he happens to be stranded, whatever.
Yeah.
They get the fleet gets decimated and he's the only one left. It could be someone else. It doesn't have to be related to Alex. It could be, but Alex is part of that, and Maggie too. They're on that world. I will totally welcome, because it makes sense. Because again, it ends where we know the threat is still there.
Yeah, they even say like we're going to reform the organization.
Yeah,
but the enemy is still out there. We're in a need.
Right, exactly. Okay, so to go back to Rotten Tomatoes,
yeah,
it is still scored at 76% by the critics and 70% by the audience. How do you see it?
I would say a solid 80. It does feel dated in a lot of ways. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Does it hold up, when it's not in CGI? I think it still looks really good.
I would welcome an anniversary edition where they redid the CGI. Just redo that.
Like
CGI.
one of those like fan videos on YouTube where they like redid the CGI for a scene or whatever.
Yeah, but just do it there. Just do it here. Just refix the CGI.
It could look
make
really
it cleaner.
Good.
Yes, it can, because it's not much work. You don't have. It's not like crazy stuff. All you gotta do is fix the ships. Everything that's in motion, flying.
The practical effects stuff wasn't that bad, in all honesty.
No, it wasn't. Right. So if you just fix it up, it will just help bring it more linear.
It would raise the points.
If that's the right word.
It would raise the score. Yeah.
Yes.
What would you put it at?
It is worth the watch. I would give it an 85.
Higher. Okay, cool.
I would give it 85 because the story is good. The action, there is plenty of action. Yes, there is some corny moments. There is some faux pas there, but it still works.
I would say
the chemistry.
It's one of the few movies that are like stupid, simple fun. It's a simple story, relatively. It's not stupid in the sense like you're a dummy, but it's stupid in the sense that like it's not overly complicated, but just a good time.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. We agree.
Yeah,
and definitely worth the own because
we own
it. Has to be plenty of behind the scenes. I own it. It has plenty of behind the scenes stuff. It looks pretty good on Blu-ray. I do welcome a sequel, and I think I did send you a link that a sequel is in the works. I did send you that.
No, they started working on the script, and we were talking about that. Granted, it's like 40 years later, but they are talking about it.
All right, guys, that is our throwback review yet again of The Last Starfighter. Have you seen it? What were your thoughts? What was your favorite moment? Who was your favorite character? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, will be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Don.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.